In this video, I'll be showing you how to use the lower, the upper, and the proper formulas in Microsoft Excel. Put your equal to sign to denote the start of the formula. That's how Excel recognizes that you're using a formula. Put the upper keyword, open brackets, you can see it says text. Just click on the cell that holds your text, and you can see everything has returned in uppercase. That is capital letter. For lower as well, you put the equal to sign. Lower is a keyword, a function that Excel recognizes. Type in lower, open brackets, click on the cell that holds your text, which is A2. Everything returns in lowercase. Okay, so for proper as well, proper just capitalize every first letter in your text. So equal to sign, proper, open brackets, click on the cell, which is A2. Everything returns with an uppercase. So that's how you use these functions in Microsoft Excel. In this video, I'll be showing you how to use the substitute and the replace formulas in Excel. As I said, you always start your formula with equal to sign. That's how Excel recognizes you're typing a formula. And I put the substitute keyword, is embedded in Excel and gives me an open bracket. I'm going to specify the cell where my word lies. Now, this is to specify what I want to replace. That's the old text. In this case, I want to replace UP with something else. So I'm putting UP in a quotation mark. Always put your text in quotation. That's how Excel recognizes that it's a string or a text. Now, I want to replace UP with down. So I'm replacing up with down. Of course, it's also a text. I'm going to put it in quotation and I'm closing the brackets. So it searches for UP, my word, and replaces with down. You can see it, uptown has changed to downtown. The same goes for replace as well. But this time around, I'm going to specify the position, not the exact word I'm replacing. Of course, equal to sign, the replace keyword, the open bracket. So you can see it says O text. So now I'm going to specify the cell number that contains the entire text, not the parts of the text I'm replacing. So it's in A2. So it recognizes whatever is in there. And comma, the next argument is what's the beginning, the number, the start number of the word I want to replace. In this case, the beginning is U, and this is the first letter in there. So I'm starting with 1. That's the first letter. And how many letters am I replacing? Which is 2. So apparently, where the position of the last letter, which is the second one. So that's why you have 1 and 2 in there. Then comma. So take the next argument. So the next argument is the word I want to replace it with. Of course, I'm going to type everything, all the words together in a quote, and I'm going to close it off. So don't forget, we are manipulating string within Excel. So we're dealing with characters, alphabets, strings, and so we'll be using quotations. So you can see uptown has changed to downtown. So I'm going to use the substitute formula again. And remember, a space in Excel or in the computer word is a character. So I want to replace space with commas. So I'm going to say equal to substitute, specify the cell that holds the entire text. And now my space in there is just space. So I'm going to put space in quotation so it identifies as a character. Then comma. And I'm going to put a quotation, my comma in a quotation because the character as well. So you can see it has replaced the spaces with comma. And okay, so I'm going to use replace for that purpose. And so the same thing, equal to replace, A3 is where my cell lies, comma, the stats number. You can see that I have CAT at the beginning, so these are 3 letters, but my space in the 4th position. So I'm going to put 4. And for how many spaces do I have? How many characters do I have? Just 1 space. So 1, comma, and the new text, which is my comma. So you will see now that it's going to replace the first space in there because this is positional. It didn't put comma in all the spaces, but the first one I denoted. So you can see the difference, how you can interchangeably use substitute. Substitute just replace all the spaces with comma, why replace it just for that particular position. So potato, comma, orange. Let's just substitute again for this purpose. Equal to, substitute, open your bracket to take all the arguments in. A4 holds all the text. Then I'm replacing whole, all the holes in there, all the instances of O in there. You can see I'm going to replace this with an A. So for every argument, always separate it with comma. So you can see my potato has changed to patapa and orange instead of orange. But when we want to specify position as well, let's use our replace. Equal to sign, replace, keyword. It can be lower case or uppercase. Open brackets. We specify the cell number, which is what? A4. Then put a comma for the next argument. I want to replace which letter now? My sixth letter. So the sixth letter in there is O. That's after the O at the end of potato. Okay. And I'm going to put the first number of characters I'm replacing with. It's just that O in there. I want to replace. Okay, I've changed it to 5. That's the 5th letter in there. Of course, replace it with what? Always put this in a string. I'm changing that P to T because there's an error there. I can say put there. So let's change to the real spelling. You can see we have our potato. On string manipulations, we're going to be discussing 3 other formulas. We are going to use ISTEX, character 34, and CONCAT. So we start with ISTEX. So ISTEX is telling us or making us check if a cell contains a text or a string that is alphabet. So we'll put equal to sign, ISTEX, open bracket, and you click on the cell. You can see it returns true, so it always returns true or false. Because that cell contains a text, that's alphabet, it returns true. So character 34 now is a reserved word, not necessarily a formula that we're calculating something with, but character 34 is a quotation. So what we do is we want to enwrap this word in that cell in quotation. So we'll put equal to sign, we'll put character 34. We also have character 36 as well. So for character 34 is for quotation. And we must follow this with the # sign, that's a hand sign. That is like joining quotation with the content of that cell, A2. Another # sign. Then we'll put character 34. So we have enclosed the words in there with quotation. You will see the result now. When we press enter, you can see everything is enwrapped in quotation. So these are used for string manipulation. I'll go to the CONCAT. CONCAT joins different words together. So I'm going to type another word in this cell. Okay, and I'm going to join it with another, text in another cell with the CONCAT. So I'm typing eforiro within that cell. Egusi soup. These are African soup, African delicacies in there. Okay, delicious as well. So yes, I'm going to put in my formula. Always starts with equal to sign. If you don't put that in, Excel sees as an ordinary text. So equal to CONCAT, or we have concatenators, so I'm using CONCAT. Text 1 is the first text, so I'm going to select A2, and I want to join amala, inyo, and semo with eforiro and egusi, which had the soup. And I'm selecting the second cell that holds it, so you can see everything is joined together, but without a space in there. So if I want to put a space, I'm going to tell Excel that I want a space in between. And how do I do that? I'm going to put quotation, because space is character. I'm going to put space in there and then use my CONCAT, which is, sorry, I will select the Excel or the cell that holds the value. Now everything looks good. I can put a comma there as well. Still on string manipulation, we've discussed some formulas in the previous lesson, but in today's lesson, we're talking about the value and the text formulas in Microsoft Excel. So we start with the text formula. So this simply helps us to format a data type into text type. So we'll use the equal to sign, the text keyword, select the cell. Then the next argument is the format you want that word in that cell to look like. In this case, we are formatting this date into that specified data type or dates format. So you can see I have YY, which is like 4 digits for my year, 2 digits for my month and day. So most times this comes up when you have a date in a particular format, but you want it to appear in a different format. So this is what we simply do. So that's converted into text and that changes to a different format as well. I'm going to use another example because for you to see as well, equal to sign, the value there is a cell that contains our date. The format you want it to look like, will always encode it in a quotation mark. And this time around, I want the year to have 2 digits, the month 2 digits, hyphen in between, and the day. So day is DD. So always put YY, and then because it's a reserved word, that's what Excel recognizes. So yeah, you can see it has year, it has month, it has day. If you want the day to appear first and the year last, put DD at the beginning and like continue that way. Now, what if I want to format it with a comma? I want it to have decimal points and stuff. The same way, equal to text, select the cell A2, quotation. This time around, I just want to show you if I want the day to appear first and I don't want my hyphen, I want the slash in between. This is just to show you what I explained earlier, but we're still coming back to when we want it to have commas in between. We want decimal numbers. So we use text for all these different scenarios, different situation. It comes in very handy. So yes, let's now go to our example that I cited earlier. Equal to, open bracket. All these formulas are like embedded in Excel. So this time I don't want to use the dates because I don't want the date to have a comma, of course. I don't want to confuse you. But I can put my word directly. This is to show you that you don't necessarily have to have the word in a cell. You can put it directly. So it directly references that number. And you can see what I want it to be. Open your quotation mark. But this time around, I'm putting hash. I'm not putting year and month because this is what Excel recognizes for that particular format. Comma, then whatever I tilt it to what you want to have. The decimal point is dot and 0. You can see what comes out. So it references that number automatically. And so we're not referencing a cell in this one. It's just that this will not be dynamic. You have to put your word in there. And for value, I want value is just to convert text data type to numeric. So I put in equal to, this is quite straightforward. I put value. I select my cell A5. But this time, let's use basics. It changes it from number to text data type. So that's it. Other trim and len formulas in Microsoft Excel, they are usually used for string manipulation. So trim, as the name implies, is to remove spaces from the beginning and at the end of the text. So put equal to sign trim and just specify the cell that contains your text. So sometimes those spaces are not visible to you. So you can see that Cynthia has removed as without spaces is now Cynthia from the beginning and from the end. So Len is to check the length of that text. So you want to know the number of characters within that word. So len gives you the number of characters. So you can see 7 characters in Cynthia. For example, if you have spaces in there, it's going to return more than 7. Like in the case of Brown, when we put equal to sign, and we count the characters, like spaces are characters in Excel. When you use len, it's going to count characters as well. So more than what is in there. You see, Brown has just 5 characters, but it's returning 15. So these two work pari passu. They complement each other. So when we use trim before len, it helps us get the accurate characters in the word. So trim removes the spaces, then len can now do the job by counting the number of characters in there. So when we use len, you can copy and paste the formula. Of course, I've just copied, or you can drag to that point. You can see now that it's returned 5 characters, which is supposed to be, unlike the 15 it earlier returned. In this video, I'll be showing you how to use the search and the find formula. So as the two names denote, search and find. So we're looking for something. So we're going to be using it for a text value or text data type. So in other words, we're searching a text within another text. So let's just go straight into it. Equal to sign, you put the search keyword as suggested by Excel. Then you see these arguments inside, say find text, the text you want to find. So you put that in a quote, and let's just look for hey in Dorothy. And within which text, so we're going to reference that same cell we want to search it within. And you could put the stats number where you wanted to start searching from. Let's just assume, let's start searching from the second position. That's the stats number. And so that's optional. It could be you could put it or you could not. So when you start from the second number and start searching, Dorothy, A in letter A in Dorothy is in the 4th position, as you can see. So let's use another example for search. Equal to search keyword. Let's look for C within Michael. C. Don't forget to put the letter first, then you reference the cell. And I will not put a starting point in here. I'm just going to close it. And you can see C is on the 3rd position. So you could put the 3rd argument. You may not put it. Find is also the same thing, works as search. Equal to, you put find keyword, then you open bracket. What are we looking for? You can see I have to bracket. What are we looking for? I'm looking for he within robots. Let's just put he within robot, comma, before you reference the cell. Then you close it and press enter. It's at the position, 4th position. So let's put equal to, let's see if we can do 2 letters. So let's look for put your find keyword. Let's look for EB and see if it's going to give us error or not. Comma, within the cell. No, let's use ER. There's no EB there. ER, so ER, comma, within the cell. And let's close. So it gave us 4. So it's just going to return the first letter, where regardless of what you're looking for, it's going to give you the first letter. And that's how it works. Search and find looks for a text within another text.